Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Weber, and today we're going to evaluate different personal training and certificates that you can get as a personal trainer, strength coach, and so on. So the first thing we'll talk about are what we call NCAA approved guidelines or certificates that have more of a validity and reliability behind them. They're backed by the NCAA, which is a council that looks at accreditation. So if your certification doesn't have that, then you may be less likely to get a position at a facility or business. So keep that in mind, unless you know exactly what certification you want and what is going to give you the best coaching ability. So you don't specifically have to get an NCAA approved certificate. You could get something like functional range conditioning or certified functional strength coach, which are certificates in their own right. They're not governed by the NCAA, but they give the trainer capacity to teach and coach, without that NCAA regulation behind that. So just know that there's different training style, different training certificates, and different standards applied. And we'll talk about the ones that also govern sports in college, especially in D1 and D2 schools. We'll talk about the requirements you need to be a strength coach there. Okay, so for your certification to be a personal trainer, the most common certifications that you probably heard of are ACE. Okay, I'll just start with A. NASM. You have NCSF. You have NSCA. You have ASCM. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 that we'll talk about today. Then we have accreditations like the CSCS that are for college athletes, athletics programs. That would be the requirement. And then the prereq for that would be a bachelor's degree. So a prereq to get your CSCS is a bachelor's degree in something like exercise science or a related field. Okay, so something like Lifetime Fitness would fit in that category. Physical education may fit in that category. You can still take the test now that I'm aware of. So with ACE, NASM, NCSF, NSCA, and ASCM, these would be our certified personal training exams. This would be our college strength coach exam, the CSCS. So you need the NSCA, which governs the CSCS, CPT. If you're going to be a certified personal trainer before your bachelor's degree and you know that you're going to get your CSCS, then I would recommend your NSCA first. That way you'll be asked some of the same questions on your CSCS. If you're looking the route of corporate status, I'll look at NASM. So that would be more corporate. ACE, that would be more maybe rec center or the YMCA. And then you have NSCF, ACSM more toward hospital settings, maybe elderly care, people with heart conditions and that type of thing that require a little bit more exercise science. And then NCSF, I would just say would be a general one that covers all these same concepts, but is kind of packaged into a college course that we offer at UNCW. So we have ACE, NASM, NCSF, NSCA, and ACSM, which are all on the NCAA approved for certified personal training exams. You have your CSCS, which is required for your college. And now we'll talk about some other certifications that aren't really governed by the NCAA. Okay, we'll talk about the CFSC, which I have, FRC. We'll talk about PRI. We'll talk about flowability. We'll talk about functional patterns, or FP. We'll talk about what's this called? I think it's called GOTA. And I think that'll be it. Okay. Oh, and FMS. And then there's FMSA. Okay, so those kind of go together. Okay, FMS, FMSA. If you're going the physical therapist route, then PT route, you're going to want to go FMS, FMSA. If you're looking at like respiration therapy, you're going to look at PRI. If you're into something, I'll put a certified yoga instructor in here as well. Okay, if you want to be a yoga instructor, obviously you want to get a yoga instruction through either a 10-week intensive course or a weekend course, whatever provides you with a 200-hour certificate. I am a certified yoga instructor, also certified strength and conditioning coach and FRC coach. I've also been NASM certified and NCSF teacher. Okay, so I have those backgrounds. I have done a ton of studying with NSCA, CSCS, and I've evaluated ACE and ACSM programs, so I know a good background about those. So as far as my yoga cert, I've gotten a Tamal Dodge yoga cert, which is a Hatha Yoga power yoga certification. I really like that because it talks a lot about the core and just general strength adaptations you can create in yoga classes. Certified Functional Strength Coach. This is one of the most well-known functional strength coaching programs designed by Mike Boyle. There's a level 1 and 2. I have level 1. I plan on getting level 2. This programming makes the most sense. So as far as I'm going to put here, I'm going to put programming made simply. Okay, if you were looking for a simple approach to programming, I would look at the CFSC. Functional Range Conditioning, this is a mobility certification. So if you're into range of motion, going further from yoga, I would say if you get your yoga, then I would go to FRC next. And then as far as strength coaches go, you'd probably want your CSCS and then your CFSC. So looking at both of those programs and combining them in some type of way. We'll also talk about Feed the Cats, which is a sprint-based program, which is great for athletes that want to get faster, which all athletes should want to get faster because it's the most explosive exercise. So Feed the Cats, check that out. It's for athletes definitely under the age of 25 because it's all about sprinting twice a week, and then X Factor workouts, which are great. You have FMS, FMSA. These are functional movement systems. They're corrective exercise specialists that really help the body restore its mobility through activation exercises, which is really awesome. A lot of motor control exercises are in there. Very sciencey. GOTA, this is a system that looks at athletes and then bases their exercises off the athlete's patterns. Functional patterns is a slings-based approach. So if you've heard of the sling systems, like your anterior oblique sling, posterior oblique sling, your lateral slings, your posterior slings, longitudinal slings, functional patterns bases their exercise around those, and power. Fullability is a breathing certification. It's all about breathing in the core. Gets you in some really different positions, so to speak. Really focuses on your intra-abdominal pressure and your conduit or your core, and getting in you to positions to help you breathe better, and then also reshape your spine. So it's a little bit different approach. FRC, mobility, PRI, respiration. Talking about PRI, your body's asymmetrical. Your lungs on your right side are a little bigger than your left side because of your heart. And so we tend to have a right lean and a higher left shoulder, and our hips tend to sink downward on our left side and up on our right side because we tend to sit into that right hip. So trying to get into positions that open up our right side, since it's so crunched, with reaching exercises and breathing exercises, really interesting work. So the ones I suggest is to get one certification from the certified personal training. So A's, NASM, NCSF, NSCA, ACSM. If I were to choose one of them, it just depends on your route, right? And corporations, big box gyms are going to want NASM. Something like the Rec Center or YMCA, like ACE. NSCS is pretty general, so you could probably take that anywhere. NSCA is more geared toward college strength coaches. ACSM is more hospitality and more exercise science, more knowledge. Definitely good stuff here. And then CSCS, you got to get your master's degree if you're going to teach in college sports, as well as your CSCS after your bachelor's degree. So you get your master's degree, your CSCS, and then I would After that, get your CFSC. So I'd get one of these. I'd get your CFSC if you want to not worry about the NCAA guidelines, but get one of the best certifications. I'd get the CFSC level 1. And then again, if you want more, you can get yoga certification, PRI, Fullability, functional patterns. Well, Fullability you'll just take as a class. You won't be able to become a trainer in that. You'll just take their classes. Functional patterns, yeah. I mean, if you wanted to go that route, it'd be a really tough route to become a trainer. And Fullability, functional patterns go to, but you could be a trainer in FMS, FMSA, functional range conditioning, and CFSC, and also your yoga cert. Something like PRI is going to require lots of hours, so that might not be easy. And then something like Feed the Cats is something that you could implement at the high school or college level if you're a sprint coach or you're a track coach. So if you're a track coach, check out Feed the Cats. Look up Tony Holler. Look up Mike Boyle and Certified Functional Strength Coach. Those are my two best bets for strength training and speed training. And then if you become a strength coach at the collegiate level, you'll have to get NSCA certified with your CSCS after your bachelor's degree, and then you're going to want to get your master's degree as well. Okay. Try to get it in something like teaching, because then it'll help you teach at the collegiate level and coach at the collegiate level, which will be really important for you. And then obviously, hopefully, maybe you get your doctorate degree. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.